All right, I'm recording now.
Okay, great. Hello, everybody. Hello, all IFL League viewers. I am your co-owner, James McKeever. I'm joined here by my other co-owner,
Michael.
who didn't get the cue. Uh, Today, we'll be doing our first ever mock draft, our first ever and probably only ever mock draft. I mean, we'll do one
For the
next year.
season.
Yeah, for the season. We'll do one next year, but this will probably be our only one before the draft that's coming up on May 24th. So I don't know. Without further ado, do we have anything else to do or to get before we get into it?
Uh, well, to no, we could do it in a second, but I just do want to say this is unscripted, so if we just kind of start rambling,
Oh yes, if we start
it's gonna be
rambling
great.
and we'll give more in depth stuff about the first two rounds of guys, and then once we get to the third and fourth, it'll be more just kind of blow by,
Mhm.
whatever-ish type of thing. Still pick, smart. Still pick who I think should go, but I'm not going to go super in depth into why I would pick that person.
Also, if you see on the mock draft here, it doesn't have the names of the actual teams that are picking, so you might to follow along, you might want to pull up the draft room to see like who
Oh
is
yeah,
picking in case
let
you like
me do
forget who we're
that
talking
actually.
about.
Let me
But
do
yeah,
that actually.
yeah,
Uh,
you too, but I was just talking to viewers,
yeah, I know, but I hadn't done that yet.
our loyal viewers, of course.
Yeah. Okay. So without further ado, should we get into it?
Yeah.
Oh, firstly, we should probably talk about the sponsor of the first
The
round.
sponsor of the first round, Tide.
Pride. I hope that was
Eat
in sync.
eat fresh, you know? All right, let's get
All right,
into it, huh?
let's get into it. So pick 1.01. I think that's the easiest pick in the world to mock because I mean, come on.
Gonna be
Uh,
Cam Ward, of course. No, I'm kidding. Of course, it's gonna be the one
Ash
and only
Ashton
running back
Genty, obviously,
out of
because
Boise
who,
State,
who
Ashton
else?
Dupie. Um,
Yeah, going to the Raiders. Loved the landing spot for him with the Raiders. Is he's going to have Pete Carroll coaching him, and with no other real good running backs in that room, I love his opportunity of being a top five running back in his first year, fantasy wise. I don't know about fucking actual football. We'll see,
yeah.
but he's going to be really explosive, and I think the Tipperary Castles are really going to love him. So
Mhm.
two, number two pick,
Well, if
owned
we could talk
by I don't
about,
know what the team name is.
I was gonna say if we could talk about like your needs for a little bit at why you
Oh
need
yeah, sorry.
Ashton Dupie.
If you want to talk
You
Tipperary
like
Castles, current running back two is Rico Dottle. So
yeah.
obviously not great.
Letting carries with Chuba Hubbard, and they really he's really the only other running back they have. They had Bijan, of course, but when you look at their team needs, running back is of course at the number
Running back is
one.
the top of it.
Yeah,
Running back, because I mean, wide receiver is another need for them, but they have three at least starting receivers. I guess
yeah,
you can say
they see
T.
the
Higgins,
field often.
Wilson, Mario Douglas is kind of but they have three receivers that could start, and people wouldn't be like, "Oh my god, that's a horrible receiver." But
Exactly.
running back, Rico Dottle, I liked Rico Dottle until he signed with the fucking Panthers.
The
Because
Panthers.
now that's just such a crowded running back room. How is that running back room going to even work? So yeah, I think running back is definitely a pick here, and it's
Hmm.
just Ashton Genty. He's the number one pick. Even if
Exactly.
he
Yeah.
didn't need running back, I say pick Ashton Genty just
Yeah.
for the trade value he's going to have.
Hmm.
All right, so now on to number two. The number two pick owned by the team with no name yet, but the pick is owned by Ray.
Hmm.
Um, so number two and number four picks in the first round, they're going to be crapshoots because they're both owned by expansion teams, and they're going to have every single position is going to be in need. So it's really a question of what direction do they want to go? Because personally, I like going Mario and Hampton with the second overall pick, but I can see why Ray might not want to do that with running backs having a short lifespan, and not really being in the realm of possibility to compete for the next 5 years. It's going to take a while to
Yeah.
really get a strong built roster. So I get if he doesn't want to go with Mario and Hampton, but personally, I would. But where I think will happen is I think we'll go Cam Ward here number two,
I apologize
and
for
if it will
seeing the
load, there we go.
internet. There you go.
I think there we go.
You good?
Um, but he'll go Cam Ward number two. I think, yeah.
Okay.
I hope.
Yeah.
He'll go Cam Ward at number two. I like the pick. Like I said, I like Hampton a bit better, like as an actual player, fantasy player wise. And I think Hampton could still be the pick at number two, as maybe just a guy you pick, let him play his first 2 years, and then trade him, flip him for more value. But Cam Ward, if he's looking to get a superstar and have them on their roster for the next 10 years, Cam Ward is the best shout at that because, obviously he plays QB, and QB have long lifespans in this league. And obviously, there's not much to talk about on what he needs because he needs fucking everything. So
Yeah.
I don't think there's a wrong pick to go here.
It's also going to depend on who he actually picks up in the expansion draft. If
There,
he is able to
yeah,
find like a solid running back, then maybe he doesn't go Amarian Hampton. But Amarian Hampton, I think, is still the second best player overall fantasy
yeah.
wise
I,
in the draft.
I think Hampton is the second best player to pick here. I think
Mhm.
he goes Cam Ward though, just
Yeah,
because
of course. Yeah, I do too. But
Cam Ward has the longer lifespan if he's
mhm.
good.
Yeah, we also assume that everyone's going to be protecting all their starting quarterbacks, so he's going
So
to
yeah,
need to find
quarterbacks
someone who's
are going to be
starting.
somewhat of a need,
Yeah.
or
All right.
just find starters.
Hmm.
Now moving on to the next pick, and this is a man you'll be hearing from a lot in the first round. Mr. Totino, owner of the Bari Barracudas, he owns the third overall pick, and there's a couple of places he can go here. He could go wide receiver and just really bolster that really young wide receiving room. Although I don't think he will do that because he's already got fucking like 8 young 20-year-old wide receivers.
Yeah,
So
he's
I
got a lot.
think the pick here is Mario Hampton.
I
You don't
agree.
want to overthink it too much. You get your guy, his running back. I think Hampton is the clear number 3 pick for him, and I think that's great value for him.
I agree, and I think he's going to a really solid like running back organization with Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah,
If I'm being honest, the
I
organization he's going to, it might even be better than Genty. So we might see Marion Hampton have a more immediate impact than
ooh,
Ashton Genty to start.
I was actually going to say the opposite. I was going to say
Really?
Amarian Hampton might be a guy you wait a year on before he really gets his production because Najee Harris is there.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that Hampton isn't going to be better than Najee Harris, but Najee Harris signed a 1-year deal there. So
That
I
made
think
worth 5 million.
yeah, I think most of the snaps this year, more of the snaps will be more of a split backfield between the two of them. And then I think
Mhm.
next year is the year he really takes hold of that backfield and becomes that franchise running back. So I don't think this is as immediate. I think he'll still be good fantasy wise, but I think this is more a pick for next year to
Okay.
have a really really good running back.
Yeah,
But
that makes
I can also see him just outworking Najee Harris and taking that
Yeah,
workload
that
away
also
from
might
him.
be like a midway through the season they realize Amarian Hampton he's
Yeah,
been eaten up a lot, so they're gonna give it to him. Also, why I think he might be just better than Ashton Genty just this first year. Obviously, in the future, I think Ashton Genty is going to be like top like 3, maybe even 2 running back in the league. But as of
yeah.
right now, the Chargers they have a really solid O line. I think they have like 3 offensive tackles, which obviously they can't house all of those
Mhm.
with only 2 tackle spots, so they're going to move one inside. But they have a really solid O line, and the Raiders I don't think I could even name O lineman for them. So it's going to be a little rough for Ashton Genty to like get going, but eventually down the line, I think Genty will be
Mhm.
there.
Yeah. So moving on to pick 4, owned by Little Dom or King Dom or however he wants to be
Ding dong.
called. uh, and again, same shtick as Ray, a bit more of a crapshoot as to who he picks. Now, I
Just
want to
best
get your
player
opinion on
available.
this, Mike.
Oh, you want
Do
to hear
you
my
do you
opinion?
think? I want to hear your opinion. Do you think the pick is Travis Hunter or Ted McMillan? Because I could see it going either way.
Um,
Either,
I
or I
honestly,
could even see him taking Henderson, but I think the draft capital that Hunter and McMillan have will
mhm.
make it more
I
likely he
honestly
picks wide
think
receiver for.
as of right now, because the Jaguars haven't announced really where Travis Hunter's going to be playing, we don't know if he's going to be a wide receiver or a corner, or he's obviously going to take snaps at both,
Well,
but we don't know what his
they mentioned.
prominent. What?
I'm pretty sure they mentioned on the draft interview that they plan on playing him at wide receiver for
Oh,
sure.
really?
I
Okay.
think so. I'm not. I didn't watch the draft interview, but that's what I've heard.
Well, then that
So
might change
I
things
think
because you could go.
there still is the worry that if he plays both positions, get tired out, get
Hmm.
more injury prone. So I could see him passing on Travis Hunter for Ted. But if Travis Hunter plays solely wide receiver, I think he's he's the pick here if he
Yeah,
solely plays wide receiver.
yeah.
But if you're worried about DB and wide receiver, I think you might lean towards Tet.
hmm But at this point, they don't have anyone on their roster, so I think they would go Travis Hunter for
Okay,
Dom,
we'll go
just
Travis
because
Hunter.
at this point you're just going best player available when if you're
Yeah,
trying to
I
build
100%
from the
agree.
ground
I
up.
have Travis. I have Travis Hunter as the best receiver in this draft class. Tet number 2, but so I would, if I was in this position, I would pick Travis Hunter. But I'm saying I get if Ted McMillan's the pick, the worry about
Mhm.
Travis Hunter possibly playing both ways.
Yeah.
So here we'll pick Travis Hunter,
hmm And quarterbacked by
and
Bruno.
like Ray, it's just more best player available.
hmm
Mm-hmm. So now we got pick number 5 from Mr. Dominic Totino again, and I think this is another clear running back pick for him. Getting 2 top guys in the draft. Now the question is, does he go Trayvon Henderson or Quinshon Judkins? Now, I think the pick is Trayvon Henderson. I like Trayvon Henderson a bit more than Judkins fantasy wise because Henderson has that receiving upside that I don't think Judkins really has.
hmm
So and it's a plus that it's a known fact that Mr. Tutino is a Patriots fan, and Henderson went to the Patriots. So I think that's the pick there.
We do know that Dom has a very big like for drafting Patriots. He drafted, I think it might have been 3 Patriots last year. He drafted Jalen Polk, Booty,
In
and you might have drafted
second
another one.
round.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the pick is. Do you have
Yeah.
any sort of things you want to add on?
Uh, well, this is the second running back we see taken by Dom here, right? He drafted Amarian Hampton too, right? I think, yeah.
Yes, he
Yeah,
took
it's the second running
Hampton, and
back.
then 2 picks later, Henderson.
Yeah, so we'll see because if I look at his roster here, oh no, he actually doesn't have any other running backs. I was gonna say I thought he had another running back that he's gonna have to push down, but we at
No,
some
he
point we do
traded
need to
away
see
all his
him.
He traded away Jonathan Taylor to you,
Yeah,
and he traded Travis Etienne to Tyler. So he literally has no running
yeah,
backs.
he has no one.
That's why I think he goes double down on running back. Next up, pick number 6 is
Oh
Rocco.
no, that's not good.
What?
Oh, you don't see it? It says the meeting is gonna end in 10 minutes.
Uh-oh. No. No. What do we do? Do we just speed through now, or do we
Uh,
restart it?
we could just keep going, and then we could make another one a second video, I guess.
Okay, we can cut it. Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Zoom is being a bitch. So pick number 6 from Rocco, the Sicilian Sausages. This is where I think we see our first possibility of tight end going off the board with Tyler Warren or Loveland. But I could also see him seeing Tet start to slip a little bit and take him at 6.
Absolutely.
So personally, I would take Tet in this situation, but I don't think it's a bad idea to take Warren either, or Loveland, whichever one you like between the two of them. Do you have anything you want to add, or you want to fight for
I
maybe
apologize
picking
for
Warren?
I would agree. I think it's a little too early for tight end, if I'm being
Yeah, a bit
completely
too early
honest.
for my liking as well,
Yeah,
especially for Warren.
and I think Rocco does have a pretty big need at wide receiver. We saw DJ Moore. His second year in the Bears organization, big step back. So he's gonna might want to like replace him. Zay Flowers, another receiver, big step back from his rookie season. So he's might be looking to add to that with Tedero McMillan, who should be the number one in
Hopefully,
front of
he should be.
Xavier Leggett and Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, that's where we'll go here.
mhm. Right.
If it will load, there we go.
There we go.
So the next pick, who's it
Shay.
owned by? It's owned by Shea of the Moscow Monkey Dogs, and I feel like Shea is a real wild card. Obviously Shea in the past has reached before. Obviously last year the fucking
JJ McCarthy, the Italian
JJ
class.
McCarthy pick, yes, the fucking viral JJ McCarthy pick. I'll never forget that fucking time in fucking Italian class when we picked him and we all went fucking crazy. So it's really up in the air who he picks. If I'm Shea, I'm looking at the board. I think this is another strong case where tight end could also go off the board, but I could also see him looking at his running back room, seeing he has three great running backs, but literally only three running backs rostered, and saying, I need at least a fourth guy and taking Quinshawn Judkins. What do you think?
I agree with you. He's got two really solid running backs. Isaiah Pacheco kind of took a step back last year. We'll see if he could bounce back. But he's got Saquon Barkley, probably the best player in the league. But we do know Saquon Barkley very injury prone. Brees Hall, I wouldn't consider him bad, but he did take a bit of a step back like every each season, I would say. And he's also he seems to be kind of injury prone. You feel like he's injured often. So we might want to take another look at running back and Quinshaw Junkins. He's got no competition in Cleveland really, besides like
Well,
Jerome
they
Ford.
got Samson later, but that's not real
Well,
competition.
yeah, but Quinshaw
More
Junkins,
stature.
he's going to start above him.
Yeah,
Or at least he should.
just thought I would throw it out there.
Yeah, but again, he could look at tight end. His starting tight end, Dalton Schultz. He's a little iffy, but I think this is a running back position, a running back spot for him. He could go Tyler Warren, but you are right there.
Yeah, I think Quinshawn Judkins is the pick here.
Hmm.
Like I said, back-to-back picks where I think it's smarter to hold true to wide receivers and running backs here.
Hmm.
Next pick is Dom again.
And he just
Seeing a
made
lot
this
of
trade
Dom.
too. He just got this pick like
Yes,
20 minutes ago. So
just yeah, right before we started recording this, he got this pick for his 10th over. No, I had the 10th overall pick. The
11,
11th overall pick,
11, and a
his
couple other.
second round pick, and a second in 2 years in 2027, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at the trade, so that could be wrong, but
Also,
that's what I think.
one thing to note, we should have said this at the beginning, but we're not mocking like any trades up or down in the
Oh
draft,
yes,
in the mock draft
yes.
either. So if
It's
anyone
straight.
is thinking, "Oh, I'm going to trade up here," that we're not doing that in this. Maybe
Yeah,
in
obviously, I don't even know how you could do that in
yeah,
sleeper.
I don't know.
Like we would have to be doing that by ourselves.
Hmm.
So it's a weird position for Dom here because he's already doubled down on running backs. He could triple down on running backs. I could 100% see that happening. Or I could see him looking at a guy like Tyler Warren being like, I know he has Brock Bowers, but Tyler Warren could be a great flex play for him. So I think there's a bit of a conversation. I do think Dom, though, knowing Dom, he's going to double down on running or triple down on running backs and take Caleb Johnson. What do you think?
I got to agree with you there. He's got Jerry Jeudy as his second flex. I know he had a really good season last season, and his yards were juiced up, but you got to think that's just one game where he had like 350 yards or something like that, something crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
And if he didn't have that game, he's probably not starting him at flex there. And he doesn't really have anyone else to throw at flex, maybe Roma Dunze, but again, he didn't have that great of a season. So I think he needs another flex piece there, and I think Caleb Johnson could be a good flex piece with no really other running backs in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So, yeah, I like that pick. I like him tripling down on running back, really bolstering that running back room for hopefully for him it will be the next 5, 6, 7 years. Hopefully these are the guys for him, but only time will tell. Now we're on to pick number 9, owned by
Daniel.
Daniel Jelen, and he's in a weird spot. He's kind of in no man's land. A lot of the top end prospects have been taken. I could see him looking at Tyler Warren and just seeing at the value. Tyler Warren's starting to slip a little bit. I could see him taking Tyler Warren. I don't think he should, though, because he's got Mark Andrews, who, yes, I mean, last season wasn't his greatest season, but if you look in the numbers, he was still the number 6 fantasy tight end. And then he's also got Zach Ertz on his bench, who had a really good fantasy season last year, being the tight end number 7. So I could see him maybe taking Warren just thinking about his tight end room. But if you're looking at it fantasy-wise, I don't think he takes tight end here. I like RJ Harvey as a pick a lot better, actually.
Sorry, I apologize. I wasn't really listening to you much there. We have breaking news in the IFL. We have a name for one of our expansion teams.
Fuck.
King Dom has named his team German Grit.
Oh.
A little bit weird of a name. I don't know if that one's going to stay.
Yeah,
but
maybe
right now we have German Grit.
So
in the
German Grit
IFL.
will be the team to take Travis Hunter in our mock.
Yeah, yeah. So there's
Um,
that. You saw my live reaction to that.
yeah,
We're
you see my
watching it.
live reaction to that too. I mean, didn't even see it. I'm hearing it
Yeah.
from you.
Uh,
But anyways, so yeah, basically what I said was I could see Daniel going quarterback here, just thinking about his
mhm.
quarterback room, or not
Yeah.
quarterback, tight end. Sorry, tight end. I can see him going tight end here, thinking about his tight end room, but I don't think he should because fantasy wise, his tight end room still is pretty decent, and I think he should
Mhm.
go RJ Harvey here.
Yeah. Well, you were kind of reading my mind there. I was gonna say if he that might be a bit of a reach on RJ Harvey. I know he seems very good and they don't really have another running back, but he Daniel does have two really good running backs, but his backup quarterback is Daniel Jones, and who knows if Bryce Young is gonna continue to trend upwards. I think he
Mm-hmm.
might reach on quarterback just because
He
that's
could.
really
That's definitely where he can go. He could reach on
only
Jackson
other
Dart, but
name.
even then, that doesn't fix his quarterback need immediately because
Hmm.
who knows if Jackson Dart's even going to start. I think he
Yeah.
will eventually start this season, but I don't think he'll start off starting. I
Yeah.
think RJ Harvey's the better pick because obviously the landing spot is amazing. And I know RJ Harvey's older for a prospect. He's 24 years old,
Mhm.
but Daniel is in win now mode, obviously. So he can take the older prospect and not feel as bad as like Dom. Like Dom, I wouldn't expect him to take RJ Harvey over Caleb Johnson because RJ Harvey is 3 years on Caleb Johnson. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, that's why I see RJ Harvey
Yeah. I don't hate the pick.
going
I just
here.
think that he might want to lean
Um,
quarterback here.
waiting for it to load. There we go. Now we get to pick number
Okay.
10, owned by.
Hold on. We only
We get
we
to
have
pick.
less than a minute left of the recording, so we're gonna we're gonna
We'll
end the recording
regroup.
now, and we're gonna continue the first round in a separate video that should go out at the same time as this one. But yeah,
We're gonna regroup.
yeah, we're gonna regroup here. All right, how do I end recording? Uh, Stop recording. There we go. I'm gonna start the. There we
Jesus.
go. All right, it
Guess
started.
time. Yeah,
Okay,
I heard. Okay.
we're back.
Hello, IFL League viewers. We're back. Unfortunately, we got cut off last time, but now we're back with pick number 10.
And
Owned
even
by.
more unfortunately, there was a
Oh,
giant
yes.
trade that just completely ruins our mock.
Yeah,
But
for real. We'll talk about it for a second.
we're
And
not
like
going to redo the whole mock
we're not,
because
yeah, we're not really doing the whole mock, but the trade that happened was David Njoku, the pick 111 and a 2027 second for pick 106. That's Tyler trading up with Rocco to get pick 106, if you don't know who's who from the picks. So Tyler trades back up after trading back down. He's fucking doing loops around people. I think he's traded up for a running back. Obviously, we're not mocking that, but I think that's who he's targeting.
yeah, and there's a lot of running backs in this area that he could draft. We're not really too sure which one,
Yeah.
but and as we talked
Probably
about earlier, this allows uh this allows Rocco to like draft a tight end maybe in the first now because we thought it was a little too early before, but now
Yeah,
that it's like late
this is like
first,
perfect
maybe it's
range, I
good.
think, if he wanted to pick a tight end.
Yeah.
But this also would mean I wish this trade happened after because this also would mean that Tet would have started slipping because this would have had us pick Tyler at 106 with running back, and then Shea probably with running back as well. So that means Tet McMillan would slip a little bit. But
Hmm.
obviously, that's not what we're doing. So we'll just continue the mock draft.
Yeah.
Number 10, owned by the Tipperary Castles. They could go a lot of directions here. They could see Tyler Warren and Loveland on the board and say
Aren't I
that's
doing your stuff though? So you're not biased?
oh,
And you
that's
just
true.
don't go
Oh,
give
that's
me your
true. Yeah,
pick?
yeah, yeah. You do the pick.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Right. So when we look at James, there's a couple of notes here. He's solid at quarterback. He's got all starters, or at least they all should be starters, unless like Aaron Rodgers retires or something, or like Justin Fields is a terrible camp or whatever. I don't even know
Yeah,
who would start over him though. Uh,
yeah. Jordan Ford gone. It'd be
he
Brady Cook, I think.
okay.
I think that's his name.
He really needs running back, but he did just get Genty at the first overall pick. Behind Genty, there's really no one else. He kind of really needs wide receiver, but what I think here, and for at least our mock draft, he doesn't have a tight end at all, really. He's got Kate Otten, and then he's got Conklin, Gray, Ruckert, Strange. He doesn't really have a tight end. I think he could either go Warren. I think he's either going to go receiver or tight end here. I think he would either go probably Warren or Ibuka. And
You don't like Loveland?
I like Loveland. there's just a lot of
Yeah,
mouths to feed in the Bears
yeah,
offense.
no, that's where I'm at as well. You can't ignore the draft capital that Loveland has being what, first round pick? Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah, to the
Um,
Bears.
yeah. I couldn't remember if it was Luther Bird in the first and
Hmm.
then Loveland in the second or vice versa. But yeah, you can't ignore the draft capital. But that Bears offense
Yeah,
is just they got Swift in the backfield. They have Cole Kmet and Loveland at tight
exactly.
end.
There's another tight end in the room too. Not even just like he's just like another receiver. He's like there's
They've
another tight
got
end.
they've got DJ Moore,
DJ
Rome
Moore,
Odunze,
Luther
Luther Burden.
Burden.
It's just such a crowded running back room, and unless Caleb Williams has like a Peyton Manning type season
Yeah,
where he
It-
throws like 5,000 yards, it's just
there-
not everybody's going to get the same
yeah.
amount of
There's
love.
going to be some outliers.
So who are you going between
So right
Luca
here,
and Warren then?
I think it's a pretty there's going to be a lot of receivers still I think left on the board just because there's a lot of people with running back needs that I felt. So I think you're going to go Tyler Warren here with the 10. I mean, I don't know. You might hate the pick,
I like that pick.
but I look at your roster, I don't really see a tight end that is I feel like worthy of starting and I feel like tight end it's honestly a premium position in fantasy just because there's so like little like elite tight ends. And I feel like Tyler Warren,
Mm-hmm.
he could do everything on the field. So he might be like Taysom Hill on steroids, just a better Taysom Hill because he can pass,
Mm-hmm.
he could run, he could do
I,
anything.
yeah, I understand the tight end pick, and I do like it. My only thing with Warren though, I didn't like either landing spots with the tight ends because Warren he doesn't have a real QB throwing him the ball unless Anthony Richardson fucking turns it up
Mhm.
this season, but he hasn't done it in the last 2 seasons, so I don't think there's any reason to think he will. And then he's
For
got
sure.
Daniel Jones in that QB room. That's the only thing is the issue at quarterback there. But I do trust in Tyler Warren's talent to
Hmm.
keep him in the top end of the first round range.
Yeah,
Tyler now at pick
Tyler.
11. This would be Rocco, and now it is, but in our mock it's Tyler still.
Yeah.
I could see him go in a couple of directions here. Earlier in the draft, obviously picking where is he? Uh, where did
What
Oh
do you
wait,
think?
because he traded back. Never mind. Sorry, I'm thinking like he's at 6 now, but he's at 11.
No, we're at 11 still.
All right, so this would be his first pick in the first round. Never mind.
Hmm.
Disregard everything I was saying. But so here is where I think Jackson Dart becomes a possibility for the first real time because I still think it's a reach to go Jackson Dart in the first round, but I definitely see it being a possibility, especially with him having Russell Wilson QB'd as a starter, handcuffing Dart to Wilson. I think is not the worst idea in the world, but he could also wait to do that with his second round pick now. Um, he could go receiver. Abuka's right there. I don't think he really needs tight end, obviously, because he's got Trey McBride, who is just amazing. But you could maybe pick tight end for a backup but he doesn't really have that luxury, in my opinion. Where do you think he goes with the pick?
I agree with you. I think he would go quarterback. It kind of depends on, I mean, if we hear any news about anything like from now until the draft, but I think it would be Jackson Dart just because you look at his thing, you look at his roster, he doesn't really have a quarterback besides Bo Nix that's going to be guaranteed to be a starter in like the back half of the season. Russ might get taken over for Jackson Dart. Deshaun Watson shouldn't start. He's actually injured, I think, for the whole season. Will Levis won't start. Uh, and he doesn't have anyone on his taxi squad. So if he wants two starting quarterbacks, he's going to need to draft one most likely, and I feel like that would be Jackson Dart
But
because
do you think he
one
picks it with this pick? Because he could realistically probably wait till the second round pick to take
he
Jackson
probably
Dart.
could, but we're also looking at we see a couple of expansion teams who don't have anyone on the roster. They might like I know Ray just took a quarterback in the first.
Maybe double
He
down.
might want to go double quarterback. It is the most valuable position.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm fine with mocking Tyler to take Jackson Dart. I think
yeah,
that's a very possible realm, and I like I said, I do think it's a reach. But the one position I'm more lenient on reaches, um, the one position I'm more lenient on reaches is quarterback, especially if you like your guy. I'm more
yeah.
lenient on you
Hmm.
maybe taking him a few picks before you should have if you like him.
Hmm.
So yeah, and then we go to the end of the first round, which is Dom again, and this is his last pick in the
Is it actually
draft.
dumb or is it? Or did he just trade? There were like a million trades that
No,
just.
no, this is actually Dom.
Okay.
So in this, we have him tripling down on running back, to the point where there's not really a running back I could see you could take with the 12th pick right here and it not being a bit of a reach, if you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying.
Yeah.
So I think he could look in a couple of directions. He could, if he really likes Cam from the Giants running back,
Oh,
Skepadu or
Scadaboo.
Skepadu, that's how you pronounce his last name. If he really likes Skadaboo, I could see him maybe picking him here, but that's 4 running backs, which I think like that's a strategy, I guess. Like, oh, one of them is bound to hit, but
That's a lot of running backs,
it's a
though.
lot of running backs. I personally would go wide receiver or tight end here if I
Yeah.
was Dom, and I think I'm more lenient for wide receiver. Now, my question is it a Buka or is it maybe a Luther Burden or a Matthew Golden down here, or even a Jaden Higgins?
Hmm.
Because Abuka, the one thing I don't like about Abuka is his first year impact. I think he's going to struggle to really break the mold in the first year. I think it's only going to take him till that next year. He kind of follows that like JSN model to me. You know,
Exactly.
JSN with a veteran and then like a sort of middle aged guy, and didn't really
Yeah.
burst out onto the scene until his second, third year. So that could be Abuka. But I could also see him going Loveland, just loving the talent in Loveland.
Hmm.
Or I mean, if he really likes the draft capital that Matthew Golden got, being a first round pick for the Packers, I don't like Golden as a prospect, but you can't ignore that Golden was a first round pick, and so clearly the Packers have something planned for him.
Yeah. I don't think it would be Golden because there's a lot of like it's not really the same as the Bears. It's not like they have a lot of elite mouths to feed, but they have a lot of receivers on the
Mm-hmm.
roster and they can't if they can't play them all. I'm sure Golden's not going to play all the snaps. I'm pretty sure he's also going to be a special teamer, which might take away some he might like return kicks, might take away some snaps at receiver. So I think it's really between Agbuka and Burden. And like we said with Loveland, Burden, it's going to be a struggle to get snaps and targets just with all the other mouths. So I think it would be Egbuka because we saw how well that worked out with JSN. He sat behind two. Well, he didn't really sit. He played, but he learned from two already pretty elite receivers in DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Now they're both out of Seattle, and JSN is tearing it up. I think we're going to see the same with Egbuka in a couple of years. And looking at Dom's roster, he kind of does have time for that. He's got a lot of young, really good
Yeah,
wide receivers. It's just he needs these young receivers to keep up what they're doing and kind of keep developing until Egbuka really like shines to be like what we think he will be in the future.
yeah. Okay, I'm fine with going to Buka here.
Hmm. All right, that brings us to the second round. First round is done. I'm happy with what we've mocked. We have a different sponsor for
Yeah.
we have a different sponsor for the second round. Ty, you can get out of
Mm-hmm.
here.
Very happy. Oh,
The second round is sponsored by Larry Fitzgerald. He just decided to pay
yeah.
he decided to pay us for the entire second round, just really for no reason. He wanted us to show his like
He
pit
just said he had some
highlights.
extra money.
Yeah, he gave us like a
Yeah.
blank check, really. He wanted to show his pit highlights for some reason, his accomplishments, and yeah. Thank you, Larry Fitzgerald.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. All right, moving on to the second round. First pick up is actually Nick's pick. It
James,
is
you keep going. I gotta call. I gotta take a call.
okay.
Hello.
So the first overall pick in the second round is owned by Tav, who it's technically Tiberi's pick, but traded. I can't remember. I've done so many trades. I can't remember which one it was, but it's an interesting spot he's in because he really needs running back, or at least in my opinion. And there's not any more elite guys left for him to take. Quarterback is also, I think, a decent need for him, but obviously, I don't like the taking one of these quarterbacks. I don't like taking Shador Sanders or Milrow or Tyler or Gabriel or any of these quarterbacks right now. I would wait at least a little bit. So he's in a weird spot. This might be a trade back slot, or maybe a trade ups spot. To go up in the first round and get your running back. Personally, He definitely doesn't need tight end having TJ Hawkinson and Sam Laporta, and he definitely doesn't need wide receiver. But I mean, if you're on, if you're, I think he has the luxury to take Luther Burden. That's where my mind's at because he's already got such a good receiver room. I think he has this. He has the even though personally I don't like Luther Burden as a fantasy wide receiver right now, being in that just crowded room. I think he has the capital wide receiver to take a chance on Burden, whose skill is really good. Like he's a really good wide receiver. Don't get it wrong. It's just it's gonna be hard for him to find opportunities in that crowded receiver room. But I think if anyone has the luxury to take a wide receiver and just bank on them being good in the future, I think it's Tab. I would love Michael's opinion, but I don't know how long his call is going to be. So I'm just going to make the pick myself. Luther Burden. Mm-hmm. Now we get to the second pick in the second round, owned by Ray again, the 14th pick overall. And obviously, everything's on the board here. I do think tight end, Loveland being this far down, is the pick. Not only because I don't know, obviously, we don't know how the expansion draft is going to end up, but I think you might be able to find a couple good receivers to start for you. I don't know how many tight ends you're going to find to start for you in the expansion draft. That's why I think I like Loveland here with this pick because it just gives you your guy that you're going to start for the next 2 years and hope he's good. But it gives you a solidified guy to start. And obviously, like I said, you can't ignore the capital. He got drafted in the first round, so obviously Ben Johnson has some sort of plan with him, maybe in a Sam Laporta type of role. And so that's why I think Loveland is the pick here. You kind of, if you're Ray, just kind of go best guy available. And I think Loveland is the best fantasy guy available here. Okay, now we have Tyler here with the second round pick. I don't think he owns this pick anymore. I think he just traded it. But here, he's already got quarterback, so that's no longer a need for him to pick. I still could see him going with another running back, especially being a Giants fan. I'm sure he's high on Scadaboo. But honestly, I think wide receiver is probably the better play for him long term because you've returned?
Yes. I had to take a call. My dad
Okay.
was helping me move out, so
Okay. Just to catch you up, I don't know if you saw, but I took Luther Burden with the first pick in the second round by
to
Tav,
have okay.
and I took Loveland with the next pick. And my
Ray?
reasonings were, yeah, for Ray. My reasonings were, just in case you want to add anything onto them, Burden is a risky pick at wide receiver, but Tav has the capital to take the risk.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many good tight ends they're going to be in the expansion draft. So just to draft your number one guy, I think that's a good shout.
Yeah, those sound good. To me, Luther Burden, he kind of feels like a Tav kind of guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable picking Luther Burden, but if there's anybody whose receiving room should feel comfortable picking Luther Burden, it's fucking Tav.
Yeah, and I love the Loveland pick by Ray because, like you said, I don't know everyone's going to be protecting their starting tight end.
Yeah, exactly. Like we know through the league chat that Hunter Henry will be available.
Henry's available, but do you want Hunter Henry really?
Yeah, really. I mean, especially now with all those new weapons in the Patriots offense. Now we're back to Tyler. I was just talking about how QB's not a need anymore for him. Drafting a QB in this mock, he doesn't own this pick in real life. I mentioned, but I think the real pick probably here he could go with Scadaboo because I'm sure he's high on Scadaboo being a Giants fan. But I think the wide receiver is probably a better pick for him.
Tyler does own it.
He does? Did he not trade it to Rocco? For the
he still has the 203.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. We're disregard what I said. He still has his pick. So I think wide receiver is the better shot. Oh, yes. He traded to Njoku and a future second, not this second.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I think wide receiver is the better shout here, especially since his wide receiver room is kind of old. You know, he's got like Debo and Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Like they're starting to get up there. I think get a bit younger. Now the question is who out of the wide receivers do we take? Golden obviously has the draft capital. Don't think he's great. Trey Harris definitely has a great landing spot, I think. Obviously, the Chargers are going to be run first, but like there's not many people in that wide receiving room for the Chargers that I think will give Harris much trouble. I mean, there's that
Just
spot right
Lad.
behind Lab
Yeah.
kind of open. He
Yeah.
can be just the immediate wide receiver too. And I absolutely love Jaden Higgins to the
I
Houston
do love
Texans
Jaden
as
Higgins.
being that's
The only thing about Jaden Higgins for me is if Tank Dell isn't forced to retire, basically, what does Jaden Higgins like future look like? Because that would be he'd be I
mhm.
assume the third receiver because we know Tank Dell is really good when he's healthy, but his knee has been destroyed twice now, so we don't know if he's going to be forced to retire. But if he isn't, then Jaden Higgins' future might be a little shaky.
Mhm. Um, yeah. So I love these top three receivers here. It's
Mhm.
just I think it's real. Just take who you fancy, take who you think is better in the long
Mhm.
run. Now, who Tyler thinks is better in the long run, I don't know, but who do I think is better in the long run? It's between Higgins or Harris. I don't. I'll leave it up to you between these two. But one of these two, I think, is the pick. I don't think it's Golden.
Um, I think I think it might be Harris. Just because there's not as much competition in the Chargers room, and he does have a.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would put Herbert over Stroud in like a quarterback ranking, so he is the better quarterback to throwing him the ball. And yeah, that's basically it.
All right, we'll go with Trey Harris then.
hmm Oh, next we
All
have
right, now the
German
fourth
Grit.
pick in the second German Grit. Now apparently, that's what their name is. So this is again real best guy available.
hmm
Um, so you could either like this is kind of the same conversation as last time. You could either go with the draft capital that Golden got being a first round pick, or go with the skill that I think Jaden Higgins has being just a better player, or you could go running back because you
I
didn't
was
pick
just
a
about
running
to say,
back in the first round. You picked wide receiver. So if because I do think Cam Scatterboot has a chance to be the number one running back in that room off day one.
yeah.
So that's really the conversation. I think is the more pressing conversation is do you go running back or wide receiver here? Personally, I think I'd go running back because I'd rather take a shot on the more valuable fantasy position. And so I think I would go Scatterboot here.
I would agree with that. I would also go Scadaboo, especially since he already took a wide receiver in the first in Travis Hunter, and
Mm-hmm.
more running backs are going to be protected in the expansion draft than receivers, I would assume. So he's not
Definitely.
going to have as many good running backs as he will receivers because he'll probably have some like mid receivers who could get him some points, but then he needs that breakthrough running back that can keep him basically in a matchup.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. We'll go Scatterboot.
Now we have Rocco.
All right. Now we're on to the fifth pick, who is owned by Rocco. Is that what you
Rocco.
said?
Yeah, Rocco.
Okay. Okay. Now, did we have Rocco pick tight end? I don't think we did, right? No.
No, we had him take.
This is where,
Oh, well, all right, yeah, we had him take Trayvon Henderson.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. This is no. That's who we had Dom taking, not Rocco. We had Rocco taking Ted.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah, you're right. My bad.
So now this is where I could see Rocco taking a possible tight end. Obviously, the top two are off the board, but I really like Mason Taylor here. If he really wants a tight end, that's where I could see him going for tight end. I could also see him going for Harold Fanny or Fanny or whatever his fucking name is, the Cleveland guy. I
Manny.
really love Harold here as well because he's more of an athlete. I think he could play the slot literally if Cleveland needs him to. So I think if he wants tight end, those are just two now. But the conversation is it worth taking a tight end after the top two have been taken off the board? What do you think? Or do you think he
I'm not,
goes
I
with
think he
something
could
else?
wait. I think he could wait a little bit more on tight end. And I know we're not really referencing the trade that just happened. He did just bring in David Njoku, another Cleveland tight end who he's gonna compete with Fannin, the guy that
Mm-hmm.
you just mentioned. So I don't know if he would go Fannin. I think he would go Taylor if he went tight end. But I still think
Well,
it's
Fannin would be a good handcuff to
Hmm.
Goku.
Yeah, but I think it might just be a little too early for those guys.
Yeah, I think I can see that too.
Hmm. He, when I
Do you
look
think
at
he doubles down on receiver then, or I could see him going Tootin then as well if he wants to
yeah,
go
he
running
does
back.
need running back pretty heavy. He's got Christian McCaffrey. He's always injured. We don't know if he's ever really going to be good again. Alvin Kamara, he's getting up there in age. I feel like he's always injured. We don't know if Bucky Irving was just a flash in the pan, really. Kyron Williams, he's good. He's a good running back. Yeah, he's a good one. But he
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
have anyone on his bench.
Um,
I think he is in pretty big need of quarterback. Not
yeah,
quarterback,
but
running
this is not a
back.
quarterback worth taking here.
I meant running back, not quarterback.
Oh, sorry.
Uh,
Um,
so I think it's either it's
now the question is, I for me, I would take Tootin here. I like Tootin, even though you might say that's a very um, crowded running back room. I think Tootin has the potential to be the RB2 this season at some point. For obviously not RB2 ranking, but like the running back two for
yeah,
the
yeah,
Jacksonville Jaguars.
yeah.
But I could also see him in his blindness of being a Cowboys fan taking Jaden Blue.
He probably he Jaden Blue will somehow end up as a sausage one way or another. He
Do you
we
think
saw
they take
him.
him here then?
I don't know if he would take him here, but I think he will some way get to Rocco's team. I don't know if it was maybe a trade or something, but he might take him here. I don't really know where Rocco would go here because he needs receiver depth, but he also needs a running back. I feel like there's not really many running backs in this area. Maybe
I don't know. I like Tootin. If you're looking for a running back, I do like Tootin as sort of more of a depth piece or like a flex guy.
I don't really know much about Tootin, if I'm being honest. This is why you're really the one going deep into everyone. But I just look at the running back room, and that's a lot of people. I see Matthew Golden. He's still here. He's a first round receiver at this point. It might just be
Could be the pick.
value. Jaden Higgins still here. He's a really good receiver. It's just the future that's the question. I think he would
Mhm.
go running back here, though.
You think he's going to go running back? All right,
Yeah,
we'll go Tootin then.
yeah, we could go Tootin.
Tootin. Tootin.
Yes, yes, James. Who's it?
Okay. we're on to pick number 6. Who owns this
Tav.
pick? Is it
Tav.
Tav? It's 2 second round picks. I didn't even know. Now Tav doesn't need a receiver, but
No.
he could. I mean, I could very well see Golden start dropping this far and take him, seeing that he has the first round capital. But I really think he doesn't need receiver. I think this is a prime position to trade back for him, honestly, and with his first overall pick in the second round as well. But we're not doing trades, so we're just going to pick. What do you think? Because he could just take another receiver because like best player on the board type of thing.
He
He could
could,
maybe he can maybe take quarterback. I mean, I don't
right?
think
But I
he
think
really
it would be
needs
too much. It would be
quarterback.
too much of a reach because we don't know. I don't think really anyone's going to start anyone else from this draft class unless
Well,
it's Fedor
well,
or Dylan
okay.
Gabriel.
Sanders
Shuck
might
could also
start.
start.
Sanders might start. I don't think Milrow will start this year, but he'll start at some point. I feel it just in the next 2 to 3 years. I
Yeah,
think he'll start. And then Tyler, how do you pronounce his last name? The New Orleans
Shuck.
guy,
Shuck.
huh? Shuck.
Shuck. Yes.
Shuck. He'll
He'll probably
probably
start,
start.
but I don't think he's going to be good.
I don't think he's gonna be good either. But if you're looking for a quarterback,
Hmm.
might take him. I could see him taking Shador Sanders. I feel like that's a Taft type of pick.
It does seem like very Tav, but I think he might be able to wait a little bit more on him, if I'm being
I
honest.
think so too. I think for me, Sanders is a
Hmm.
late
I,
second, third type of guy.
yeah. I look at Tav's team right now. I feel like he needs running back. Who do we have him going in the first round? I don't
In
remember.
the first round, he doesn't have a first round pick.
Oh, he
This
doesn't
is
have a first round. So that I think he definitely
he
needs a
took
running
Luther.
back.
He takes Luther Burden at the start of the second, and that's his
Okay.
first pick.
So I think he definitely needs a running
And,
back. He has Tyrone Tracy, who I feel like he's going to get outshined by Cam Scatterbo. Kenneth Walker, he's regressed ever since his rookie year. He's having like Zach Charbonnet overshine him, and he doesn't have any backups except maybe Rashad White, but he's kind of phasing out of the league now. I think he
mhm.
definitely needs a running back. Uh, who that would be? Devin
um,
Devin Neal. I mean, he's probably going to take over Kendre Miller's spot.
I don't like Devin Neal.
I don't
At
really
the top right
know
here, right
anything
here.
about I don't really know anything about the running backs that are left. I know Ollie Gordon
Uh,
was good a couple years ago. He wasn't really
my
good this year.
pick, if my top two running backs here are probably Jaden Blue or DJ Giddens. I like DJ Giddens just because I think he's going to have an amazing opportunity in the backfield
Meeting's
of
ending in 10 minutes.
Colts. Hmm?
The meeting's ending in 10 minutes.
Oh crap! So okay, well we'll speed it up a little bit.
Hmm.
So I think Jaden Blue or DJ Giddens would be the pick if you're going to go running back. I kind of like Jaden Blues. I don't like Jalen Blues that much though. Like as just as a prospect,
Hmm.
but I think he will have a chance in that
Yeah,
Cowboys offense to just be the number one running back at
exactly
some
because
point this season,
there's no one
which
else
I don't
really
think.
there. There's no one else there.
Yeah,
So I think it would.
I like DJ Giddens as a handcuff to Jonathan Taylor. I don't know how much I like DJ Giddens not having Jonathan Taylor on your team, so I think I would lean more towards Jaden Blue here.
I think I would also lean towards Jaden Blue just because there's no one really else to challenge him for the spot, except maybe Javonte Williams, who he does have Javonte on the bench, so he's really going to get the winner of the battle either way.
Yeah,
So, yep. Who's up next now? Up next, we
there we
have.
go.
Oh,
All
we have
right,
you.
me. So you
Ah.
this is yeah, this is me.
All right. So we had you going Tyler Warren in the
Tight
first
end.
tight end. We're obviously not going to go tight end again. Let me get to my James notes. Uh, you could take another running back. You could take a receiver. Honestly, I think you would go receiver. You see a couple of these guys falling. Uh, who's let me see. Or do you have a quarterback too? No, you don't. Okay. Uh, I think it's definitely either between Golden or Higgins. No, from hearing you now, I know you like
It's a real
Higgins,
case of do you value, yeah.
and
It's a real case of do you like Golden's draft capital being a first round pick, or
Mhm,
do you like
exactly.
Higgins just raw
From hearing you
potential and
now,
ability?
from
So
hearing
I'll let you pick who.
you, as a Packers fan, I obviously like Matthew Golden better, but that's obviously my bias. I know I have a way higher view on him ever since he got drafted by the Packers. Uh, but I know he's not really as good as I'm thinking of him. I know I before the draft, I wanted Higgins as the Packer. I felt like Higgins was my favorite receiver out of the class, besides like the top guys, but we weren't going to get him. So I think you would go Jaden Higgins, especially hearing you talk about him for the past like 10 minutes about how much you like him more than Matthew Golden. But I also think he's just going to be a better receiver than Matthew Golden in the long
Yeah,
run.
yeah,
And so yeah, I think you go Jaden Higgins there. All right.
yeah. I really like Jaden Higgins there. I think he'll become a very early second favorite target for CJ Stroud in
Yeah.
that offense. So now we have who has who's
Tyler.
picking Taylor. Tyler is picking next year in the second. A lot of places he can go.
Hmm.
Obviously, who he's picked running back and he's picked
Jackson
receiver
Dart.
and he's picked quarterback. Yeah, I forgot he had the top of the first. So he's picked running back, receiver, and quarterback. Now it's kind of become best available. There's not many
Mhm.
team needs that he hasn't hit already. Um, I could see him maybe going tight end. Like who's the starting tight end right now? Because especially after
Got
Drake
McBride.
traded Njoku.
So he is McBride. So I don't think he would go tight end really.
Well, he's only got two tight ends rostered now in Theo Johnson and Trey
True.
McBride.
True. He could
So
cover all the bases and go with tight end. I don't
I
think he would do that though.
so it's either, I think the pick here is either tight end or just Matthew Golden.
That's what I was going to say.
Unless you like Jack Beth more than Matthew Golden, but
I don't think
I
he
think
would.
at this point you can't ignore Golden because
Exactly.
he's fallen so far and he's a first round pick.
He's a
Like
first round
clearly
pick.
the Packers are going to do something with him. He's a first
Yeah.
round pick. I think you go Golden
I
here
think it
if
has
you're
to be
looking
Golden.
at it.
I
Okay, we'll
agree.
go
I think it
Golden.
has to be Golden there. Let's see who we got now. Daniel. Daniel is up now.
Daniel.
Who we have Daniel taken? We had him taken RJ Harvey,
RJ
right?
Harvey. RJ Harvey, yeah.
Um,
QB is a
he does
possibility.
need QB. He could take, and you know what? That honest, I feel like off the bat, Jalen Milroe might be a good shout, just
Ooh, you
because
think Jalen Milroe over Sanders?
I see Jalen Milroe out of any quarterback in the entire class, Cam Ward included. I think Jalen Milroe has the highest potential, but he also has the lowest floor. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're basing it off of potential, I think he would take Jalen Milroe because he does have Jalen Hurts, Bryce Young. If Bryce Young can finally hit that like high number one pick that he was supposed to be, then
Uh-huh.
then Jalen Milroe maybe being a bust doesn't really matter. But if Bryce Young sucks, and then in a couple years we see Jalen Milroe at the top of the league, this pick is going to be looked at as like a genius pick because no one really knew what they were going to do with Jalen Milroe. They just signed Sam Darnold to what I think like 2 years.
So yeah, 3 years. I think it's
Yeah,
two.
something like that. And with the potential that Jalen Milroe has, I mean, we saw glimmers of it in at Alabama. He didn't really have the greatest season this season, but a couple years like 2 years ago, he was really good. I think I think he would go Jalen Milroe here.
Mm-hmm. I I definitely see Jalen Milroe. Me personally, I don't know. For Daniel, I think I might like Sanders just a bit more because he doesn't have his bench is Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones isn't even
Mhm.
guaranteed starting. So I
Mhm.
think Sanders has the better opportunity to play year one over Milroe. But I
That
do get Milroe, and I think it's not a bad pick. I think we can go Milroe, and it's not going to be
yeah.
that bad.
I
Just
understand what
somebody.
you're saying about Sanders. Sanders doesn't really feel like a Daniel kind of guy to me.
That's also true.
But also, I don't know if there's any more that Sanders could be. I think he's kind of like I don't know how much more he could develop. I don't really see him becoming anything more than what he is right now. And he is pretty good right now. He's really accurate. The drifting in the pocket is scary, especially behind a Browns O line.
Hmm.
And I feel like Sanders is kind of stuck at where he is right now,
Okay.
while Jalen
All right.
Milroe.
We'll go Milroe. We'll go Milroe.
Hmm. Get me to the roof. There we go. We have Pete
Next is
now.
Pete. Pete is up on the block, and now Pete. Um,
This is Pete's first pick, I think.
to make an accurate Pete. Yeah, it is his first pick because I own his first. To make an
Let's
accurate
go
Pete pick, we
all
might
the
have
way
to
down the
scroll all the way
board.
down to people in the 2000 range.
Yeah, Anthony Boone. There you go.
Maybe a Rat Taylor.
There you go. Of course.
Anthony Boone. See that?
It was some quarterback. I don't know.
Oh, I
Yeah,
just saw him. All right, but okay, let's go back up for serious.
to be real. Yeah. He he's kind of got a lot
Okay.
of needs. Not really any like glaring. I
Yeah,
don't think
quarterback is the only one he doesn't.
hmm He doesn't
Quarterback is the
have
only
any.
spot I don't see him having need.
He doesn't really have any needs that are like too major, but he does have some needs. He might want another receiver. Uh,
Mhm.
because his third one is Jaden Reed, crowded room, or maybe Xavier Legette, and it's becoming a crowded room.
Mhm.
He needs a
Yeah, I think
running.
receiver is definitely the way to go here. He could maybe go tight end, but he traded a lot to get Travis Kelsey, so I don't think he
Yeah,
does go tight end. But his starting tight end is fucking 30 whatever, so I could see him
yeah.
making a Mason Taylor here. But I think receiver is the more safer bet.
Receiver. Even though he did
Uh,
draft three receivers last year, but none of them even made it off his taxi squad. And Roman Wilson,
yeah.
who Pete was very high on, he didn't see a single snap. So I
Mhm.
think it has to be receiver here.
Yeah. Okay. So now it's the question of we're kind of getting into the range where it's kind of become a crapshoot. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I could see him taking any of the top four guys here and having a legit reason as to why you take them. Like Jalen Royals, I kind of like Jalen Royals as like a future guy,
Oh shit, we have less
especially
than a
in
minute.
that. Oh well.
Hurry up. It doesn't. We got to make this pick.
Under distress, I'm gonna go Jack Betch.
All right, we go Jack back. The recording's gonna end soon. We'll see you
All
guys
right,
in a
that's
bit.
it.
There we
God
go.
fucking damn it. You
Stop
always
getting
pick the
jump
one.
scared by that. All right, we're in the second, baby.
Okay. Second, 11th pick from Mr. Nick.
Have.
Yeah, Mr. Tav.
Sorry,
Where
the
do you see him
Mountain Dew
going here?
Mountain game. I'm getting hyper now.
Because this is around the range where maybe he could take quarterback. Like Sanders isn't a huge reach here,
I could see that. And
and
Sanders fits the mold of Tav's team.
yeah, very much so. Like Sanders is the most Tav quarterback in this class, bro.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hopefully he doesn't see that as an insult, but
Yeah, maybe he will. But like to be fair, he does have four starting quarterbacks. But like Trevor Lawrence, Michael Penix, Caleb Williams, they all kind of have question marks on them. Like I like Caleb Williams, obviously, especially with the Ben Johnson's offense. But like Trevor Lawrence and Michael Penix, those are a bit more questions. So he could maybe take quarterback just as like a like you said, this is a dynasty league. Quarterbacks are the most valuable position.
exactly.
So why not take a flyer in the second round on somebody who was round one graded coming into the draft? Obviously
Exactly.
fell all the way to fucking fifth, like a
And
fucking loser. But
yeah. He should win the starting battle too.
yeah,
If
but like
we're being honest, he should beat out Joe Flacco unless they want to go with the veteran to start. He should definitely beat out Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, and Deshaun Watson's hurt. So he'll either be the one or the two.
yeah, I and like I would want to go running back here for him, but there's just not a good running
Exactly.
back worth you
Yeah.
taking at number 11. DJ Giddens is up there for me, but I think he's more of a third round guy for me. Hold on, let me pull up my running back rankings. Jaden Blue's gone. Jarquez Hunter, where is he? I like Jaquez Hunter, but I just don't like the landing spot for the Rams.
Yeah.
I think Kyron Williams, unless he doesn't resign there, I don't think he really has much of a future there.
We also have Blake Corum.
They have Blake Corum as well as there. Devin Neal is like a possible maybe.
I could see Ollie Gordon being a serviceable too.
Kind of.
They lost Mostert. He's just behind Achane now. Oh no, they have Jalen Wright too. Forgot about Jalen.
Yeah. I think Shedeur Sanders is the pick.
I think it is Shedeur
because he doesn't need wide receiver and tight end. I think it's literally a waste of a pick. Takes tight end or receiver.
Exactly. I could picture Tav doing the
Shedeur.
I could picture him doing the Shedeur. Here we go.
Yeah.
Last one, it's Tommy Mick.
Tommy Mick, champion. Has he picked yet?
No, this is his first pick.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull up my notes about this team.
Oh no, that's.
I think he is probably I was gonna say I think he is probably looking at quarterback. He's probably kicking fucking Tav for taking quarterback right before him because I think if Shedeur Sanders were here, this would definitely be the pick. And you look at the quarterbacks now. I mean, I don't like Dylan Gabriel, especially. I like Dylan Gabriel, but not in that quarterback room with Shedeur Sanders. Yeah. I do like Will Howard, but not here.
Tyler Shough is really the only. Tyler Shoug's really the only one that is most likely going to start on this list. But I don't think Tyler Shough has a future or is going to be good at all. So if he's just looking for someone who can get him like 9 points instead of 0, then he would have to go Tyler Shough. But he could also pass up and maybe just draft Will Howard later.
I like Will Howard, especially if Rodgers doesn't sign to the Steelers, which I think he will eventually. But if he doesn't, then I like Will Howard. But that's a very big question mark. I wouldn't draft him in the second.
We could be looking at
tight end.
He has Jonnu Smith. So he's been pretty good.
Yeah, Jonnu Smith was top 5, I think, last year.
Yeah, he's tight end 4. Backup, he has Evan Ingram and Dallas Goedert. So he's set at tight end.
Yeah, I think wide receiver was a need I had for him.
Yeah, I think it would be receiver. Brandon Ayuk coming off an ACL and didn't have a good season to start anyway. Chris Godwin coming off an injury.
I think it's a bit of a reach for all of these receivers, except for maybe Noel. I do like Noel. I like Noel. It's a weird landing spot for Houston. Obviously, his teammate Higgins got drafted to the same spot, but I do like because I think Noel has a chance to beat out Higgins in that wide receiver room. I think
he could, but then if he doesn't, but the only thing is if Noel doesn't beat out Higgins and Tank Dell comes back next season, Noel's definitely not seeing the field at all because then he'd be the receiver 4 behind the 3 of them. I think I know
You
he
think?
went undrafted. Oh wait, no, Isaiah Bond still not even on a team? Because he is a good
No, it
receiver.
doesn't seem like.
I was gonna say he could.
I
He went
wouldn't. I wouldn't go
undrafted.
with that.
No, you're definitely not going with him now. But I was just gonna say, even though he
Yeah.
went undrafted, he's a good talent.
I could see him going Alec Aramano or whatever you fucking pronounce his last name from
Yeah,
Tennessee.
they don't have a receiver.
As like because Alec will come in and he will most likely be wide receiver 2 off the jump. He'll have the shot to really earn his role in that offense. And I personally don't really like him. I don't like him. I don't. I don't like the transfer, the Stanford offense to like the Tennessee offense, like an NFL offense. I don't think it's gonna really work. But I could see him going with Alec here just on the hope that it does.
Hmm.
Especially since I think out of the top three receivers here, and Bond, obviously Bond's not on a team. I think he'll have the most snap count out of them. Like he'll be
He
on the field
should.
more often than not
Yeah,
out
and
of the
he
defense. So I
and
think this is what he goes.
and he's gonna be developing like a rookie to rookie connection with Cam Ward. So they're gonna have that going with them. Even though Xavier Restrepo, Cam Ward's old teammate, is also in Tennessee, so that Cam Ward might be looking for him. But I think uh, Restrepo definitely can't get drafted at this spot. But I think Ellick is the
No,
right
definitely
pick here.
not. I think Alec. I think Alec is the answer here.
All right, we're in the third round now. We're probably going to be start to move a little quick, except James said he might want to talk about my picks a little more since I obviously haven't had a pick yet because we know how my franchise works. But we're going to start to move a little quicker here just because these picks they're not really going to matter too much. But we do have a new sponsor. Goodbye, Larry Fitz. The third round is brought to you by the University of Pittsburgh and Fairleigh Dickinson University. James doesn't really have anything to represent it, but he is the representative of Fairleigh
Yeah,
Dickinson University.
if I was told beforehand that my college was going to sponsor this, then I would have brought a hat. All right,
You get no
just saying.
hat, but Pitt gets
Muscles.
big representation here. Go Panthers, am I right? All
I
right.
can only imagine. I can't see your face cam, but
Oh, that's unfortunate.
um, yeah, I haven't been able to see it this entire time.
Oh, I
So
didn't know that.
Tabs on the board here. Um, uh, so obviously we've already talked about his needs. Doesn't need wide receiver, doesn't need tight end. I could see maybe doubling down.
He could. He
Likely
did
thing
just draft
is running
quarterback.
back here, and I
Could
think
go there.
out of these running, yeah, I think out of these running backs, I think I like DJ Giddens the best out of these running backs. But for him, I think I would probably pick Devin Neal.
Just yeah. It's a Alvin Kamara is probably going to be gone next 4 years, 3 years, I would say. Devin Neal hopefully can be the guy to take over. Kendre Miller, he's had his chances. He hasn't really shown it. But yeah, I think Devin Neal's the pick.
Mm-hmm. Uh,
Next
okay,
week.
now we're on to Ray, and obviously just kind of best player
Needs
available.
anything. He's taking a quarterback and a tight
And
end, so we're probably looking at running back or receiver. And it's really just the
yeah,
best available. So,
I would wager a yeah, I would wager a bet it's going to be it's Noel probably or Royals if he likes Royals better than Noel. I personally
mhm.
don't. Um, but I'm going to go Noel here.
It makes sense, yeah. He just needs whatever he can get. And now, my first pick of the
Yeah,
draft.
Michael on the board. Finally on the motherfucking board. So obviously, runner up, forever runner up in the league finale this year. I don't think Michael's team really has a gaping hole that needs to fill. I think it's more just kind of more quality of life picks here that he has, except for running back. He needs a better running back too, because I think Swift is just in such a crowded room. But who knows? Maybe Ben Johnson will work his magic and get Swift to be fucking, I don't know, amazing rusher. But here, I think this is where I go DJ Giddens, not only because I think he's probably out of these guys the best running back available, but because Michael has Jonathan Taylor in that room, and so it's a nice handcuff to Jonathan Taylor in case he's hurt.
I like the pick. Jonathan Taylor, he gets
On to
hurt
pick
right now
four.
as backup, so yeah, I like the pick.
Yeah, I like the pick, and I like DJ Gittins' potential in that backfield.
Hmm.
Uh, Now we're on to our next, the German Grit, and here is where I think the next tight end is taken because, like I said, expansion draft, you don't know where the tight ends, how the tight ends are gonna look in the expansion draft. I think it's either Mason Taylor or Harold Fannin or whatever his last name is. I think it's one of these two. I I I I think I'd give this is probably me being a Jets fan, but I think I'd give the slight edge to Mason Taylor just because he was drafted in the second. Um, he was drafted top of the second, and my only thing is the Jets offense doesn't seem to use tight ends that much. But obviously, it's a new offense now, and it's an offense um, that's being inherited from the Lions, who have Sam Laporta. So I think I would just go Mason Taylor here.
I agree with the pick. He needs a tight end. Mason Taylor, he's probably the best available. Might be the starter. Maybe in a year or two, he'll be the starter behind an old Tyler Conklin. But yeah.
I think he'll be the immediate starter. I mean, but Tyler Conklin's not there anymore.
Oh, you're right. He's a Charger, so he should be. Yeah, he should.
Yeah,
Mason Taylor should be the starter,
he'll be the
unless they
immediate
like
starter.
Jeremy Ruckert. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Jeremy Ruckert, Justin Fields have the connection, so who knows what
I
that
do.
will
Yeah.
happen. Who's
Yeah.
picking now? I just kind of clicked onto the pick without even
Rocco.
looking. Rocco. He's picked Ted McMillan and who else? Hold on.
Couldn't tell you.
He's picked Tech McMillan and Jaden. No, he picked Tootin. He picked Tootin.
Uh,
Um,
2-5. He took
yeah,
two.
Tootin. So wide receiver, running back.
Yeah, wide receiver,
Um,
running back. He
I,
has.
I
I have on the notes that he has a small QB need. We might potentially see Tyler Shuck here, just because he doesn't really. I mean,
maybe.
Gino. I'm not high on Gino anymore, but and
Mhm.
if that's his only backup.
That's also true. Um, I
I don't think
also
he would have
see a slight tight end need. Like his best
Yeah, Ferguson.
tight end is well, actually, he just traded for Njoku,
He
and
did.
so he might not want tight end. I personally would pick Fannin as another handcuff to Njoku. That's where
Hmm.
I'm at right now.
I
But
think.
I could also see him just kind of going quarterback and taking a shot on somebody here in the third round.
Yeah.
What do you think? I'll go with whatever you think.
I think even though he is going to be the starter, I think it's too early for Tyler Shuck because again, I don't think he has a future really. So I think it would be tight end. It's either tight end or whoever the best cowboy on the board is. I don't know who that would be, but I'm
You could
kind of
take the
dead
other
serious with
cowboy running
that.
back.
Who?
I could take the other cowboy running back. I forget his name.
Well, if you have to scroll
Um,
down that far, he's probably not going to take him now. So I would just go with the
let's see.
tight
Let's see.
end.
Hold on. Okay, hold on. I'll pick the tight end, but I have his name written
We'll
down here
go the cowboy
somewhere.
next time. Yeah, it's going to be Harold Fannin here.
Phil Maffa.
Phil Maffa. He'll be
Okay,
the
pick six.
that is Tav.
It'll be his fourth round pick.
We're back with Tav.
Tav, back with Tav. Could maybe double down on running quarterback again, just to take a real big shot on it, but I don't think so. Doesn't need tight end. I think it's more likely he just takes a running back here. Out of these running backs, it's really a crapshoot from here on out. Let me go to my running back rankings so that I have a basis. Here, I think Dylan Sampson is probably the best on the board. Like I said, I like Jarquez Hunter. I just really don't like the landing spot of Rams. I also think Taj Brooks is at play here. I don't know where he is, but he's somewhere. The Bengals running back, he's probably farther down.
Oh,
Maybe a bit too early to take Taj Brooks.
he could be taken. I don't know about here, but he could be taken
I
by Tav. Yeah.
I think Dylan Sampson's just the easy pick, and I think that's who he'll go to.
Yeah. At the third round, I feel like people
All
just
right.
start clicking to see who like just the top at the position that they need, and that's if that's going to be Dylan Sampson. Next up, we have Shea.
Yeah.
That's Shea here. Did we have Shea taking the
Shea,
quarterback?
Shea, did you pick quarterback yet?
I don't think he's
That's
taking
what
the
I was literally
quarterback.
thinking. I think
There you go.
I
I
could
don't,
check. Hold on. Um, I
I
don't
don't
think so.
see the
He took
quarterback.
Judkins, didn't take in the second round, and then yeah, he hasn't taken quarterback
Yeah,
yet. So I
so
think
I
this
think it
is
has to be
where
quarterback.
maybe we could see.
Shuck, maybe. Oh,
Yeah, I
maybe
could see it
Howard.
being Tyler, but I could also see it being Howard.
Howard, yeah, I think Howard probably has more of a
One
future
of the
than
two.
Tyler Shuck.
I personally like Howard.
Yeah.
I think
I-
so because I think once they see Tyler play, they're going to say, "Yeah, no, you're not our QB of the future." But
exactly.
also, to be fair, Tyler was a second round pick, right? I
He
think
was a second round pick,
so.
yeah.
He's got the capital. So
But
I mean, now if the Giants didn't trade up to pick quarterback, do I think they still pick quarterback in the second round? I don't think so. I think they only picked Tyler because I thought quarterbacks are going to start going off the board, and so they just picked their guy.
mhm.
But still, second round pick. I personally like Will Howard though, and I think that's where I would want to go
I
with the
like
pick.
Will Howard more too. I also think Will Howard has more of a chance to start. I think they'll both start the season. But Will Howard has to compete against Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson. Not really good, not good. And but Tyler Shuck, he's got to compete with guys I feel like have the same skill level as him, uh, in Spencer Rattler and Jake Hayner. And Derek Carr, we don't even know if he's going to miss the season yet. If he doesn't take the surgery, then Derek Carr is going to be their starting quarterback, and he's not even and Tyler Shuck's not even going to be able to start for Shea. So I think it is Will Howard here.
All right, we'll go Will Howard.
Who do we have next? Next,
Back
we have
on the
me.
board with M. Cuddy. Yeah, we have you next. Running back could be another good double down on the running backs if you sees one that he really likes. I don't see one that I really like, or not enough to take here. I think wide receiver is a bit of a depth need, not so much as in like you need to for a starter, but just somebody to play in the as the backup. I don't know. He could go with his boy Savion Williams, but no, that's probably a fourth round guy. I personally like. Ooh, I I like Tesla here. I like Torrey Holton here as well. I really love Torrey Holton. Not here, actually. Sorry, but I really love Torrey Holton in general. Um, I don't know. I think I like Pat Bryant as well. I think I would go Royals. Hold on. Let me just. Yeah, I think I would go Royals here because I like Royals potential to start have some real actual time in this city Kansas City wide receiver room. So yeah, that's the pick.
I like the pick. I do like Royals in Kansas City. I was gonna say something, but then that gives away who I like in the draft, so I'm not gonna say that. But yeah, I like Royals. I was gonna say
Who's
something else.
picking nine? Daniel again? I feel like
Let me
it's
see.
Daniel.
Let me check. It would be Daniel, yeah.
Okay. Here's where I could see Daniel taking a quarterback, just kind of like a third round guy in case
hmm
um his tight end like Zach Ertz is up there
Well,
in age, and in case
didn't we
Mark
have
Andrews.
didn't we have Daniel taking Milrow?
Yeah, we have Daniel taking Milrow.
So why would he take a quarterback again?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say quarterback. I meant to say tight
Oh,
end. Sorry,
okay.
tight.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I can see him taking tight end here. Um, I don't see him really going any other direction. Maybe wide receiver is like a depth need, like I just did for Michael. I think tight end. I really like a tight end pick here for
I
him.
like the tight
Just
end
as
because we don't know if Mark Andrews still has it, really. And Zach Ertz,
Mhm.
he's getting up there in age too. They're both good now, but we don't know if they're gonna continue to be good. So
Yeah, I like the tight end pick here.
I
Uh,
like tight end here.
I think I would go Terrence Ferguson or Gunnar Helm, one of the two. Gunnar Helm, I think he's got some. I think he's going to be a weapon that's going to be really utilized in Tennessee. But I also just really like Ferguson as well. So I think I might lean towards Ferguson.
That's fair. I like the pick.
Oh,
Higby. I think Ferguson was taken like pretty high too, the second or third round. Yeah, 46. He was taken in the second. So they obviously see something in Ferguson
yeah.
that they really liked. I think Ferguson's a good pick here.
Yeah.
You can-
I keep fucking clicking onto his bio.
Come on, boy.
I'm so hey. All right, here we go. There we go.
There you go. And then after Danny Boy,
Okay. This is Pete again.
Pete. Yep.
Now I honestly
We haven't taken back.
like. Ooh, he took a wide receiver in his
Yeah, he
left
took a
pick.
receiver. He took a receiver. He took
Who did
back.
he take last time?
Receiver.
Beck. Yes. So I could see him going maybe in the running back direction, although I don't think it's a huge need. I think tight end is more of a bigger need for him.
Mhm.
And this is where I think Gunnar Helm would go. I think it's a bit too early for Gadsden. Yeah, I think it's not really any others. I mean, I really don't like Elijah. That's why he keeps falling on my board.
Fair enough.
Sleeper has him ranked pretty high, but I don't like him. I think Gunnar Helm would be a better fantasy tight end than him, so I'm going to take Helm here.
Fair enough. I don't know. I don't really know much about him. I like a rookie to rookie connection with Cam Ward and Helm. So we'll see. We'll see what goes on.
Mm-hmm.
There you see we have Daniel.
Daniel is back. And he,
he just
took
took
tight end, so he's not looking for.
So he's taken running back, quarterback, and tight end.
I think it's either double down on the running back. I could see him maybe doubling down on the quarterback. I don't think it's likely.
Yeah,
I could see it.
I could see him possibly going receiver just because his receivers, they're getting a little old. He has Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, who knows if he's going to play again. I could see him going receiver if there's one that's like good on the board.
Yeah. Personally, I really like Torrey. I really like Torrey Felton, wherever not Felton. Sorry, Horton. I was thinking of Ty Felton. Torrey Holton for the Seahawks. I think he replaces that Tyler Lockett like perfectly for them. I like Isaiah Tesla, but I like him more as a football pick, not a fantasy pick. I think he's going to fill that like Josh Reynolds type of role for the Lions. I don't see how it's going to translate to fantasy. Savion Williams kind of just there with Green Bay. That's more of a later pick. I think if I was picking a wide receiver here, for him, I would go somewhere around like Bryant. Sorry.
Denver.
I would go Pat Bryant. I like the idea of Pat Bryant being the wide receiver 2 in that Denver offense.
Yeah, he could also just look. I'm just pulling this out of my ass. I don't know if there is anyone, but he could just look for like someone on Philly or Carolina. See if there's like a stack that he could do. I don't know if there is anyone, but he could just look for that. Just throwing that out. I don't know if there is anyone. I'm just putting it out there.
Jimmy Horn.
I don't know anything about him.
I don't know. I literally don't know. I literally don't know anything about that dude.
As we get later in the draft, I don't really know many of the prospects. You're going to know them better than me, so it's up to you who you want to give Daniel here.
Okay, I'm going to give him Pat Bryant. I could also see him maybe going Jarquez Hunter, because he has Blake Corum. So if Kyron Williams decides to leave, one of those two is probably going to get the keys to that backfield. But I think wide receiver is a safer pick here. Who's picking here? Is this?
It would be Tommy.
This is
Thomas.
Yeah, it'd be Tommy. Wait, did he trade for his second back then? Because it says that he traded.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
Okay. Tommy Mick back on the board. I think this is where Tyler goes off the board because he could use quarterback number 2 play. I think Tyler is the only one left who is probably going to get some sort of starting role in this first year. I mean, maybe Riley Leonard if the Colts QB room is that bad. But I think it's Tyler. I think I'm just going to go with Tyler.
That's fair. The only other reason why it might be Riley Leonard there is because he has Anthony Richardson. So if Anthony Richardson goes down and they like cut Daniel Jones, Riley Leonard would step in, but I still think it would be Tyler Shuck there. All right, we're now in the
my pick. So
4th round. Hey, we have a new sponsor for each round. Come on now.
Oh yes. I'm sorry, I completely forgot. I'm going back.
We have actually 2 sponsors for this round. The first one, Fuzzy Duck. If you know, you know. And then the second one, Bob Ross. And Bob Ross has a
Yes.
message for us here. I don't know where the microphone on my computer is, but hopefully you can hear it.
I didn't hear anything.
All right. Well, he said something about a fuzzy little tree.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the sponsors. Fourth round starts off with Irish guy picking.
Oh, right. I got to talk about that because yeah.
Okay.
um. So what did we have you taken? You had Genty, you had
Tyler Warren, Genty, and then JD
Higgins.
Higgins. So running back,
So
tight end, receiver.
running back, tight end, receiver. You, I don't think you would go quarterback. You're solid at quarterback, so you don't really need to take all four positions. You could go here. Let me look at your team real quick. It's probably just going to be kind of best person available that isn't a tight end because I don't think you want to take two tight ends in the same draft class. It could be running back, whoever your favorite really running back is. I don't really know who it is. The only one I know really on this list is Ollie Gordon, but I don't know how much he's going to play. The Hunter guy. You talked about Jaquez Hunter. You might like Jaquez Hunter. I don't remember if you said you liked him or you didn't. Uh, if you go to the receiver room, you know what? Yeah, I know who you're gonna pick. I'm gonna. You might hate it. I don't know if you're gonna hate it. You're gonna draft a receiver. You're gonna draft receiver Xavier Restrepo. You might not like it. You know, you're not showing any facial expression, so I don't know if you like it or not. But the only reason
I'm
you're
trying to
gonna
be
draft
straight
him
face here.
is because he's playing with his college quarterback again, so they already have a connection. Cam Ward already knows what routes he's going to run. He knows how he runs them. He did run super slow at like his pro day and didn't run at the combine. That's the reason why he fell. But if you look at him in college, he is really good. I'm pretty sure he broke the receptions and receiving yards record at Miami, which is
Mhm.
really good. They had Michael Irvin at Miami, I'm pretty sure. So that's a
Uh,
really good receiver to follow up. And
don't
so
hate the pick. Don't hate the pick. I don't think to be fair, wide receiver, and running backs at this point are kind of just pick your favorite and go with
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Um, and so clearly that's your favorite here, not mine. But I still don't. I don't mind the pick. It's not a bad pick.
Hmm.
Now we're on to Ray again, and this is definitely just best available, except not tight end because he's already picked tight end, unless he wants to double down, which I could see happening, but I don't think so. I don't, maybe another quarterback. If like I could see him going double down on quarterback if he had a really bad expansion draft for quarterback.
Yeah.
But
If he were
I
to
don't.
go,
I
if he,
think he takes more skill position. I think maybe just a shot on a running back, or maybe a shot on a wide receiver. I actually think probably a shot on a wide receiver.
I think,
Actually, no, he hasn't drafted running back at all yet. He probably draft running back.
oh yeah, you're right.
Oh, you know what? I like Taj Brooks for him. I like Taj Brooks. I'm just gonna pick him.
I agree with the pick. They don't really have a clear set running back one. The only thing I wanted to touch on, if you were to draft a quarterback, I feel like it would be Quinn Ewers, just because they're taking at that point in the fourth round, you're taking the quarterback who's behind someone who gets really injury prone. Meetings ending in
That's
10
true.
minutes, and
Okay, well, we can get through this in 10
yeah,
minutes.
yeah, we'll get through it in 10 minutes. And Tua, we know head injury, so he would be most likely to go
All
down.
right.
We have Tyler
Tyler
here.
back on the board.
Tyler.
The Tyler tight end. I don't
Tyler,
think he needs.
I don't know who he's taken. He's taken a bunch of running backs, I know.
He took wide receiver. He took running back.
Hard to see without the
He's
names.
taken Golden.
Oh,
Yeah, it is hard. He's taken Golden. I don't
yeah, I
think
don't
he's
think
taken tight end
he
yet.
has not taken tight end.
I think this is a tight end pick then, because obviously his tight end room is now a bit more shallow with uh what's his face being traded, David Njoku.
Joku.
I don't know. Personally, I would go Gadsden, but I think the more safer pick is probably Arroyo or whatever his fucking pronounce his last name is. Uh, I think that's probably the more safer pick, but I just really don't like him. But he's fallen for real in this mock, so I think this is where he's taken.
Yeah, and if they have
So
him
I'm just
graded
picking.
that high on Sleeper, he'll probably get taken. Here we have,
Yeah, at some point. 4 is another expansion.
yep, King Dom here. So he's taken Travis Hunter
Has
Scadaboo.
he hasn't taken quarterback yet.
I don't think so. He's not taking quarterback. He could just take a shot on Quinn
Um,
Ewers, Dylan Gabriel, Riley Leonard. No one
yeah, that's
really knows.
really Anthony Boone. Uh, uh,
I mean, a legend.
yeah, I mean, I'm looking right now. I'm just trying to see if there's anybody. Oh, DJ
DJ
Uwemenu or
Ugalele.
whatever is fucking the Florida
Yeah.
guy. Yeah,
We could go DJ
yeah.
Ugalele.
No, I think it's a Quinn Ewers or Dylan Gabriel pick. It's honestly whether you believe in Dylan Gabriel to get playing time in that QB room in Cleveland,
Mhm.
which I personally don't think he's going to. So I think Quinn Ewers is the better pick just because he's behind injury prone Tua, even though they still have Zach Wilson in that room. So Zach Wilson will probably QB
Yeah.
two, I'd imagine. But still, I think I like the Quinn Ewers pick a
Yeah.
bit better than
He's
Gabriel.
also just an experienced quarterback. He knows how to throw the ball.
Rocco with this pick, apparently. I don't know
I don't
what
know.
he got this for.
Yeah.
All right, let's go take that guy I was talking about.
Oh yeah.
Phil
Dallas
Maffa.
guy. There you go. You got Phil Maffa.
Yeah, that's the
There you
only
go.
other Dallas guy I
That
have.
solves your running back problem, Rocco. There you go.
Right there. Right there. Next pick is also Rocco's, I think, right?
Tav.
Oh, Tav. Sorry.
Tav.
My bad.
Tav.
My B. Tav. You can stop saying Tav.
Tav.
So who's he taking? He's taking wide receiver, he's taking running back, and he's taking quarterback, I think, right?
I think he took another running back too.
Oh, did he?
think
Well,
He might have taken 2 running backs, a quarterback, and a receiver.
Mhm.
Maybe. I could be wrong. My brain's kind of fried, but
Yeah, honestly, a lot of draft talk being talked
Uh-huh.
about. I really don't see where he goes with this pick. I'll be 100% honest.
you know, I feel like he filled all the holes that he had. I think. No, James.
I'm sorry.
We've got the whole draft without making a holes joke.
You just
No.
said it so seriously. I'm sorry. It's my bad. It's my bad. I'm just gonna go take Jaquez Hunter because I like the player. I just don't like the landing spot, and
Okay.
he doesn't need receiver or tight end. So.
Sounds good.
It's my pick, Mike.
I gotta
What
pick
hole
again
should
for
I
you.
fill?
Stop.
You got to pick one more time after as well.
You know what? You haven't taken you know what? For that, go to quarterback.
No, I'm not doing.
Go to
that.
quarterback.
No, I'm not picking quarterback.
James, I have control of your pick. Scroll down. Wait, I think we passed him. Go up.
No.
There's a quarterback. His name starts with Anthony. Last name Boone. That's who you're taking.
Oh, you want Anthony Boone? I thought you were gonna give me DJ.
No, you don't get TJ. You get Anthony Boone. That's what you get for making that joke. We went the whole thing. Yeah, Anthony Boone. Not even drafted yet.
He doesn't even have a picture.
That's fine. He's 33 years
He's
old.
33. What? What?
You're getting Anthony Boone. Press draft. You're taking the 33-year. You thought Tyler Shuck was old. You're getting Anthony Boone. The 33-year-old rookie.
I fucking clicked on his
Press the
profile.
plus. James, we have 4
I'm sorry,
minutes,
I just
James.
don't-
We have 4 minutes.
I got this, all right? Anthony Boone. There we go. There, all right? You fucking asshole.
We have 5 picks left. 4 minutes. Go. Tyler.
Okay. Who's up this? Tyler?
Tyler.
Tyler, he's gonna take
Ollie
Ollie
Gordon.
Wide receiver. No, not Ollie Gordon. I think he's gonna take maybe Tesla. I like Tesla here.
Tesla is good. All right, makes sense. We don't have to rush too much, you know. Daniel.
Who's here? Is it still Daniel?
Daniel.
Is it still Daniel?
Daniel.
Here's maybe where an Ollie Gordon go.
I like it.
Actually, I like Brashard Smith a bit more, actually, though. But I think just namesake wise, Ollie Gordon
Yeah.
would his pick. I don't think he'd scroll down to go to Rashad, whatever, because I don't think he knows who he is.
We have you. Oh,
Who's
damn it!
picking
We have
here?
you again.
It's me again.
It
Oh,
on my thing.
it is me again. Yeah, I told you. No,
Damn it,
it's me again.
James.
All right, your pick.
Uh,
I didn't make a whole joke. Give me an actual player this time.
yeah, I'll give you an actual player. You've taken a lot of positions. Let me look at your roster real quick, like
I
super
think
quick.
with you taking Anthony Boone, I've taken every position except for tight end. I didn't take tight. No, actually, I did take tight end in the first round.
You did take tight end.
First person to take tight end.
It's been a while since you went running back. Let's look at the running backs. I don't know any of their names. So we're kind of just going off of Landon. You know, yeah, Brashard Smith. He's probably going to be the backup to Pacheco, who's kind of mid. So you'll take Brashard Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Like the landing spot for him. So
I like him as a sort of, yeah, I like him as a sort of backup to Pacheco. I think he's like a mini Pacheco, honestly, or not in size, but like like
it's me.
He's Pacheco. That's you.
Me.
Oh, it's you. Okay, so let's go give you DJ.
No.
As punishment for giving me Anthony fucking Boone.
Joke. We were so good throughout the whole draft.
Fine, I'll give you a fucking real player. I'll give you. I think
Donovan Edwards.
You'll want to go run and you'll scroll.
I want Donovan Edwards.
You'll scroll and you'll see Donovan Edwards.
Gimme.
I know. I'm getting there, bro. I think you were scroll down and see, oh, Donovan Edwards. I know that name from college football.
Exactly. He was on the cover. He's got to be good.
Even though he's on a Jets team. Even though he's on a Jets team who has 2 running backs over him, he's probably
I took Jordan Travis. The Jordan Travis to Donovan Edwards connection is going to be crazy. All right, we have 1 minute 45 seconds left.
Obviously, like he's not retired.
This is Tommy.
Who's this pick? Is it
Tommy?
I don't know. I'm gonna just pick wide receiver. I think
Savion Williams.
Go
Pack, go.
Sure. I actually do like Savion Williams, not as a draft guy, but as someone like to sign after. But if you liked him enough, secure him in the draft. Yeah. So hold on, let me give you a full there. That's our mock draft. Oh wait,
it's not the full thing, but it's as full as we can get it.
You're gonna have to settle for not seeing some picks.
It's as full as you can get it. But
all right, I'll do a slow scroll for you.
There you go.
The last couple of
James is lagging real bad, but just
scroll so you can read all. There we go. All right, so thank you guys for tuning in. I don't know how much time we have left.
We got less than a minute.
Thank you.
Press the poop emoji.
Thank you to all the sponsors. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for all the sponsors here that we've had for the rounds.
And goodbye.